Hey guys, I'm gonna do a knife review today for Ray Rantanen's knives. I don't know if any of you guys have ever checked out any of his stuff online. This is the first knife from him that I've ever gotten. This nice little beauty right here, forward sweeping ladder pattern. It's basically the same thing as a standard ladder pattern, but instead of being at a right angle, it's at a slight up sweep for better cutting. It follows more of the path of the actual edge. Anyways, this one right here is about a 2 5/8 inch. It's a nice little choil right there. I like that. That part's good. It's nice and comfortable when you're holding it. Fits right in your hand when you want to put your hands on the finger filings back here. Some nice little file work with a little mammoth ivory handle and a little butt cap right there. It's kind of delicate, but it's turquoise. The butt cap, that's the only delicate part on there. The rest of this knife is tough as freaking nails. The worst thing you can do to it is flatten the edge. I've dropped it many a times. I've done this, I've done that. I've beat the crap out of this knife, and this knife just keeps on taking it. If any of you guys have questions on this, he does make his own sheaths. These are a very nice sheaths. They are top quality leather. I mean, when I first got it, I didn't even know it was leather. He said it was leather, but man, you flick it and I thought it was hard plastic, but that's just the way wet forming is. Very nice. It's very well broken in. This has been on my hip every day since '08, so it's got quite the use of it, but it fits the knife pretty well. If any of you guys have been on Ray's website, you can see that he states that his knife's self-sharpening. He's actually not lying about that. You know, I had some hard time believing that when I first was looking at his website, and then I bought a knife, this one being the first one, and he's not lying. When you get them, they come razor sharp. That is the absolute sharpest they will ever be, is when you receive them from him. They're in fact so sharp that if you just lay the knife on your skin like that, that's literally enough to break the first layer of skin. That's how sharp he sends those knives to you. I mean, it is ridiculous how good they are. What happens is he puts a convex ground edge on there. It's not straight. Most knives have a straight edge or a hollow ground edge, which is concave. He puts a convex edge on there. And when you use it, the mild steel, I think he uses 1020, but I'm not 100% sure, wears away, and you get these little feathers that form. And if you put them in and out of the sheath, one thing that he won't tell you, where you're cutting cloth, it'll bend those little feathers over. But not to worry, with a butcher's rod, you know, 2 strokes or 3 strokes, whatever it takes, and those feathers are straightened right back out, and it's right back to as sharp as it was before you put it in the sheath. They're very tough. They're very strong. They're very beautiful. And in fact, I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on here. One of the things that he does is he uses brass black. He doesn't use standard gun bluing. When you put brass black on a ferrous knife, I don't know why, but when you oil it, it makes the pattern stand out a little bit more. Here, let me try and get that a little bit closer to you so you can see it. Yeah, you can see that better a little bit now. Camera's not picking too well up on it, but it's a crap camera. This is about a $330 knife, mainly because of the mammoth ivory. It's a very expensive material, and it feels pretty good in the hands. The mammoth ivory is pretty nice. I like the mammoth ivory. One of the things I didn't know, I don't know if this pertains to all ivories or if it's just to mammoth ivory, but during the summertime, if your hands get a little bit sweaty, it kind of gets sticky. Not like a sugary sticky where your hands kind of feel sticky afterwards, but like it just has like a bite to it to where your hands don't slip on the blade or anything like that. Very nice little curve up on the blade, straight point. I carry this knife on me every single day and have done so since almost the day I bought it. Very nice, very reliable, cuts through cardboard, cuts through wires. This is, I mean, I've read some reviews, people talk about using these knives for wire cutting, and I've always just not wanted to use this for wire cutting just because it's my most expensive knife next to this bad boy, also a Ray-made knife. But the other day I used it, and I'll tell you what, man, that thing, it went straight through it. It was cutting nice, and it does self-sharpen like Ray states. I know some of you may have had a hard time believing that, but yes, it really does. This guy knows his shit. He's not BSing. I had a hard time believing till I bought it and I found for myself. He really isn't lying about that. These things are tough as nails because they're laminate. They're not a single steel. They hold a very good edge. Now onto this one. You can see some of the patterning on there. He hand makes these sheaths too. In fact, you can see the little logo right there. Nice big quality leather strap. I mean, this thing never comes off. This is pretty nice. As you can see here, this is a clip point. Also has some file workings on it with a black dyed elk antler with brass and some more turquoise. I don't know. I like turquoise knives. Just my personal preference. But this is a very well constructed knife. This is probably, well, actually not probably, this is the best knife I own right here. A little too big for carrying. I mean, it's almost 10 inches long. I don't know if you can see this little ruler right here. I mean, this isn't a small knife at all. But it's quite nice. Put some oil on there so you can see the pattern. I didn't understand why that he used brass black until I first oiled my knife. It really does pop out after you oil it. Makes it more bold, makes it look nicer. There you go. You can see that. And then this side is also quite nice. This side is flat ground, completely flat ground. You can see the pattern. Pretty cool. This is a standard. This is his signature pattern. This is a ray burst. It's I kind of think of it as like a variant on like it's like a mix between like a ladder and a feather pattern almost. Because if you look at it, it's not like a straight feather, or it's not like a straight ladder. The pattern is a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. It is a very nice knife. It's got that perfect little upsweep back here. I like that, you know, holding on to something when you're cutting. It's also got the perfect little upsweep on there. I mean, that curve right there is absolutely perfect for slicing, dicing, kitchen work. That's another thing. I find that kitchen work is what these knives are absolutely best for. They're not so good for like dry leather. They're not real good for like cloth or things like that because of the nature of the edge. Because of the way that it self-sharpens, it gets that sawtooth effect. But it's very good for things like meat, you know, cutting a steak. Very good for steak, you know, very good for hunting animals. I've never gone hunting. No one will take me out. I don't know. But I plan on using this for the first time I go hunting. I'll tell you that. These things, as much steak as I've cut with this knife, I can tell you it'll definitely take down a deer or a bear or an elk, no problem. I mean, those things, they take quite a while to skin and dress and all of that. And this knife definitely will hold up to that. Very tough. Some people may ask which pattern is better for the layers across the cutting edge, this one or this one. Honestly, I really can't tell you. They have their own characteristics, but they're about equal. I want to try and get a ladder, another ladder pattern, but I don't know. I really do want to try a twist pattern. A twist pattern would be best because it's got thousands of layers across the cutting edge instead of just hundreds like this one would have. But this is a very Nice knife, very well constructed, very good camping knife. I've taken this camping. If I had to live off the land for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and I could only have one object with me, if I only got one thing to take with me, it would definitely be this knife. I would hands down pick this knife over anything else. Very, very great knife. He recommends flits too for these knives. I don't know if you guys, I have problems finding it in my area, so I go online. I get this stuff offline. I bought this 2 years ago, and this tube has lasted me almost that long. I mean, as you can see, I'm only halfway through the tube. Just polish the blades up and whatnot. They take the polish pretty well. I really like them. One of the things that he suggests is flits for that reason. It's food safe. Knives don't always... You don't want to use flits right before you make something, you're eating, because then you can taste the flits, but you know what I mean. As you can see right here, this knife is really starting to take that shine right back up, especially on the brass. You can use it on the blade too. It doesn't really hurt any of the brass black or anything like that. You just don't want to use anything with a grit like steel wool on it. Just keep that, because it's non-abrasive, so it won't polish it off. But I do highly recommend getting flits as well. That is really good stuff. Anyways, if you ever consider getting one of these, you think they're expensive, you know what? They're worth their weight. You get what you pay for with Ray. You honestly do. I have had 2 other Damascus knives from other people, and they're an absolute piece of shit compared to these knives. These knives are so nice, so well built. You literally can't compare them with anything else. Damascus, if made correctly, like this stuff, has the potential to be the best stuff out there on the market, flat out, period, ever. And I can't find anything as good as what Ray makes.